Thank you, Martinara. Thank you for that introduction. And wow, what a crowd! So lovely to just see so many friends out in the room. Is like, quite overwhelming actually. It's wonderful to be sitting here addressing you all and to introduce myself to you all. Hello, my name is Shraddhin. The first thing I wanted to say was that I found this talk really difficult to write. And I've given talks before. I've given talks on the Dharma, on meditation, but I found this one to be the most difficult because I find it really difficult to really genuinely express what ordination and what the Dharma means to me. People have asked me before, and I find it really difficult to quite get the words together. But I'll give it a go. I mean, I've got 3 pages, so I must have come up with something. And why I've made this commitment to join a Buddhist order, to join the Triratna Buddhist order. And I think partly it's because of something that I've absorbed from our culture, certainly growing up, which was, cynicism and skepticism. And I think really they're quite highly valued, and it's almost as if in order to be individuals or to prove our individuality, we feel we have to be cynical and skeptical about everything, and detached and kind of, analytical, ready to chuck out the old and welcome in the new as soon as the evidence changes. And in the past, certainly I myself have placed quite a lot of personal value on self-sufficiency as well, like I can do it myself and I can do everything myself and I don't need other people. I don't need to be dependent. And I think, it's there in things like social media as well, which kind of encourages us to create a self and recreate a self and present different selves to different people, and it's always got to be the best possible version of ourselves that we can be. And I think what's valued a bit less, in fact, what is actually rather a deeply, deeply unsexy word, is faith. Faith. Which is partly why it's difficult to talk about, because I start going on about faith and then just eyes glazing over. Which brings me on to my name. My name is Shraddhin. Shraddhin. He has trusting faith and confidence in the Dharma. Trusting faith and confidence in the Dharma. And I do. I really do. I have absolute faith in the Dharma, in the 3 jewels. I have faith in my Buddhist practice. And the reason I have that faith is because the Dharma has just given me so many blessings. It's already given me so many blessings, from friendships to much more refined ethical compass, to Sangha and belonging, to a glimpse of reality, a glimpse of the transcendental, what life is all about, and a kind of, just a way to navigate grief and loss and, the worst of times as well as the best of times. And I think at the most basic, obvious level, meditation does make me a bit calmer, a bit kinder, a bit more focused. But I've also had this glimpse that there is so much more than that, so much more. So why wouldn't I want to join with other men and women who are on that same path and share that path with them? But my name's also a reminder, which is one of the things I love about it, that tells me that even on days when my meditation feels like I'm walking through treacle, that my mind is just not where I want it to be. I'm shouting at the kids, shouting at whoever, anyone. Like the journey here. Buddhist language coming out in the car. But faith just means sticking with it. It means commitment. Faith and commitment are kind of two sides of the same coin for me. And this beautiful name of mine was given to me by my also beautiful private preceptor, Dana Priya. Thank you very much. So for those who are unfamiliar with the ordination process, your private preceptor is the person who ordains you individually and chooses your name. And the good news is that you get to choose your private preceptor, so choose wisely. So there are a few things that I wanted to share with you, mostly from my ordination retreat, about Dana Priya, that confirmed to me his wonderful qualities, and that have made him such a wonderful spiritual guide, not just for me, but for many other men in the movement and now in the order. The first one being that when we were on the ordination retreat, there were a few occasions when we wore our robes, preceptees and preceptors in the shrine room. And on those occasions, Dana Priya was by far the best dressed of all the people wearing robes. And it sounds like a really minor thing, but it was really important. It adds, Dana Priya is someone who kind of, he takes these occasions seriously. It lends an air of gravitas to a situation. And he took real care of me as well, making sure that when I was getting dressed, when I was putting my robes on, he helped me with how to tie it properly, how to look, smart, and like I knew what I was doing when I really didn't. I was anxious and I was, about to be ordained, for heaven's sake. And just really bloody nervous. And I just felt really looked after, really cared for and really looked after. So that's one of Dana Priya's special qualities. Another one that was wonderful on the retreat was he has this real swan-like quality of making things look totally calm and effortless, even though there's a hell of a lot of drama going on beneath the surface. And Tejasvati has already really beautifully kind of described some of the arc of working with your mind on this type of retreat, of the kind of the highs and the lows. And I experienced a lot of that myself, because the low is basically, I'm stuck with my own mind. I kind of get to a point where I'm like, oh my God, can I not get away from myself for just 1 minute? And, at that moment, when I was having that kind of low, Dana Priya was there, and I could go and see Dana Priya and kind of confide in him about what was troubling me, which was one of these terribly minor situations that sometimes happens on a retreat that turns into God knows what in my head. And he was just, really calm, really reassuring. Yes, we'll sort it. It's all fine. No drama, nothing going on. And it was also done in a way that didn't make me feel silly, which was very kind. So that's one thing. And it helped me to kind of break through. And also realise that so much of my time I am waiting for something to happen, willing something to happen, wanting something to happen. And the space is only there when I let go of that and allow nothing to happen. And that was kind of my big realisation, which sounds really daft. But it's such a big lesson for me in my life, that of being able to let go of that will and just allowing there to be nothing, because ultimately that's kind of what there is. Thank you. That was a real turning point actually on the retreat. And then the final thing I wanted to mention, not from the retreat itself, but tomorrow night, me and Dana Priya are going to see ABBA. And for me, you've picked the right preceptor if it's someone you can go to ABBA with. It just wouldn't have worked otherwise. But more than that, he's fun and funny, and someone I just enjoy spending time with. And that translates into his Dharma. You know, it's every day, it's rooted in real life. And, you know, as someone with a family, and, you know, I'm very much in that every day, I need that. My Dharma life has to be expressed in just everyday life. So thank you, Donna Priya. Thank you for being my preceptor. Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for my beautiful name, and thank you for your friendship. I'm just going to kind of draw it towards a close by saying a little bit about the ordination process that I went through. I've spoken a little bit about the retreat, which for me was two weeks at Pamaloka in Norfolk, being slightly unreasonable possibly to leave the kids for 3 months. Sometimes desirable, but yeah, but the process itself, you know, as Tej Fati was saying, it involved a lot of people, you know, not just me. There's the ordination team at Pamaloka, and they're the people who live at Pamaloka full time, helping men like me on their spiritual journey, helping men to get ordained, going for endless walks around the same nature reserve, talking about the same problems with people. You know, it takes it's real dedication, but I was really inspired by my connections, particularly with Padmasagara and Dharmadeepa, who just help paint a really beautiful picture of what the Dharma is. There's my Kula, so that was a group of order members who met together to guide me through the ordination process. So Pranagosha, Dharmaswara, Marjanara, Sagrasila. Thank you for your friendships, which I know we're just at the beginning of. My GFR group, my Dharma buddies, all men who've also asked for ordination. Al, Andy, Olivier, Graham, Adam and Alex A. Yeah, you guys are the most extraordinary bunch of men. I feel really honoured to have been able to share. We've shared a lot, you know, together. And I've benefited loads from advice, honesty, encouragement that I've had from you. You're just good guys to be around, and I'll really miss hanging out with you every week. But I know it won't be too long before you're in this hot seat here, giving your welcome back speech. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, the bit that came before that, before asking for ordination, when I just sort of turned up at the centre in Yoga Point. I remember chatting to Joe, you're here. I remember chatting to Joe in the tea break of my first class, and I remember thinking, I liked that Joe, although I thought your name was Laura for about 3 minutes. So I thought, I really like that Laura I was talking to. But it's really important, because I thought, these are nice, normal people. I liked being there. I shall come back next week. So thank you. Yes, and of course, my teachers and friends, Sagrasila and Marjanara, both of these men really awakened my faith in the Dharma through the study group that we've been in together. Sagrasila has these mic drop moments of total clarity and wisdom, where everyone just sort of stops and looks at him like, what's this guy just said? And he's got this passion for the Tantra, the weird and the wonderful, the pursuit of insight. And yeah, Marjanara, my friend and the ultimate big brother, for being so in love with the Dharma that it's just totally infectious. And yeah, you've been such a supportive friend, and you put in a lot of very obvious hard work into Brixton and the Sangha, so thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, of course, my husband, Adam. The 2 weeks he spent solo parenting our 7 and 2-year-old while I went on my ordination retreat are praiseworthy enough, definitely. But it must be quite a strange thing to see your partner of over 20 years find faith and follow a spiritual path. And it's a far cry from when we first met on the sticky dance floor of a gay student night. So yeah, it kind of takes me all the way back to the beginning, you know, so about 6 years ago, taking a punt, booking on my first weekend retreat at Vajrasana. And in a way, you know, if you'd have told me then that in 6 years' time I'd be an ordained Buddhist and called Shraddhin, I'd think you were mad, because I'd got the idea that, wrongly it turns out, that to be ordained you need to live in a community with other Buddhists, you need to work at the centre, and definitely no kids, you know. But clearly that's not the case. But in another way, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because right from the beginning, from my first exposure to the Dharma, to teachings like conditionality, and I remember things like the first time I read the Diamond Sutra, I've had faith. You know, I've had faith that I want to live my life in accordance with what's really going on, to live ethically, to experience life completely. And I've learned that the thing you need for the spiritual life, apart from faith, is friendship. Definitely friendship. It's not a journey I've been on alone. So thank you to all my friends inside and outside of the Sangha. I think this combination of faith and friendship is the reason why over the last 6 years I've been able to just keep going for refuge and continue to commit to my family, even welcoming another baby into our family as well. And finally to join this wonderful Buddhist order. So I feel so grateful. I really feel grateful for all the love and support and encouragement I've had on this journey. I feel so humble being here, so humble and grateful. So thank you very much.